Good morning, friends. Welcome to another episode of Curtis is having an episode. I thought I'd do a quick update on my 37 Ford for you guys. What I'm currently doing and the whole stupid process I went through looking for a frame on this thing. First I tried the 32 Ford, and then I tried the original frame a little bit. Tried the frame out of the Willys, but it was twisted, and I really didn't want to deal with the twist in a frame. And then I found a somewhat butchered frame from a 37 Ford monogram kit. Really cool kit. And now that I found that kit in my stash, I kind of want to build it. I channeled the body on it and stuff, and it looks pretty neat. And for some reason, I don't know. I don't know why it was sitting in there unfinished. It's a really cool kit. So what I got going on here, I'll show you, is I back half this thing because I wanted to keep, this curve here. It seems really important because when the truck is sitting on the frame, that curve matches really, really cool. And I want to keep that going. So that'll be part of the whole thing. But then I back halved it and came up with kind of a cool little thing for having some holes in it. And I was going to show you guys how I'm doing it. I wanted it to be stout, and I didn't want the holes to go all the way through like the frame is boxed, but you still have lightning holes in it, which is not what it sounds like. It's not lightning, but it does make it go faster. So what I've done is I've drilled out these holes into one size, and then on the back side of them, to give them a shadow and to make them look more to scale, what I'm doing is I'm taking one of these, I think these are these are the God Hand, like, they're like little chisels. They call them spin bits, and what I do is I go through and kind of, let's see if I can zoom in a little. Wow, I can zoom in a lot. And it gives you this little ledge. And so what I'll do is I'll take a Sharpie and I'll make it black around there before I glue it on. Now let me back off a little bit. And I'll go around the inside of it just to kind of give it a shadow. Then when I glue it together, and you look at it from the side, it'll have a black shadow in there. But then when I go to paint, some of that shadow, you're not going to get all the paint in there, so some of that shadow will remain, but you'll still have the color going in on the back side here. And it should give it some kind of contrast. At least I hope. I mean, it's all an experiment. So we'll see. It might be worthless fodder. But that's what I got going on there. So that's my squirrel buddy. What you doing, Curtis? I'm doing stuff with things, buddy. Just sit back and watch. So what I've done is I've drilled the holes. I've taken the God Hand bit and flattened it out, so that way when, I'll zoom in a little bit, when you look at it at a different angle, it actually looks like thin sheet metal, or it's a fairly good gauge because it's frame, but it gives that edge, and then there's a little step in there, and it should create a shadow when there's paint on there and all that, which will give the illusion of the holes being drilled and it being to scale. And then what I do is I'm using 40 thousandths by, I think, 0.188 styrene strips, and two of them together is 80 thousandths, which is probably about 2 inches scale thickness, which should be pretty close to what you'd have on a hot rod if you back halved it and wanted to keep the rear end pretty stout. I imagine this vehicle here will have a lot of horsepower and a lot of torque. So once I'm done gluing it together there, I'm going to take some 1/16 rod, I think, and then just kind of fabricate everything inside the frame that I need to do. But what I did is I cut it, and I cut it long on purpose. So that way I can just go back with my nippers and cut it flush on this end. And then, you know, file it to where it's perfect, where I can mess with it. And then be able to put a piece along the back. So the whole frame all the way around will be the right thickness. You can see where I've cut that piece, and that piece will be like that. I don't know, I think it might look pretty cool. You know, it's always an experiment with every model. You just kind of go where it tells you to go. I've looked at quite a few videos on one-to-one chassis and stuff for cars and all that to try to get some ideas, and that's always a great place to start and look and all that jazz. But anyway, that's what I'm up to. So that's the idea of what it's going to look like. Quick little mock-up. Still got to chop the top on it. Still contemplating if I'm going to open the doors. Yeah, I should, because it's a truck. So if I do, I'm going to suicide the doors, because that's just always cool. You can kind of see the holes in there and all that. So that's not the motor. That's a motor I just found in a box somewhere from a very long time ago. I do have some shop cards, and these two shop cards that I got right now, these guys need no introduction, really. If you're in the modeling community, you know who these guys are. First one I got is hanging with Mr. G Seeds, Gary over there. His paint jobs are unbelievable. I am just blown away. I love the candy in it. I love the purple and the silver and the gold and the yellows and the orange. But go to his channel. If you have no idea who this guy is, you do yourself a favor to go to this channel if you're into this stuff. He does one-to-one cars that are really super awesome. Bikes. He paints a lot of things, and then his hobby models are just super fantastic. So hey, thanks Gary, you're awesome. Can't wait to see more from you, man. And then the other guy needs no introduction, but I do believe that the community needs to get together and do a GoFundMe for this guy for drive shafts. Wow, that's not set up right. There we go. How about we do that? Model Cars with Glenn. Great guy, funny dude, awesome builds. I love all the gasser stuff and the flat tops and just all the different vehicles he does for all this stuff. It's what I love about the 60s and hot rodding is in drag racing, you just build what you have and you build the crap out of it. More is always better, it seems like, from the 60s. But you know, so I'm in love with that era of racing and cars and the whole scene. I thought that was really cool. And this cat does a lot of that stuff. But again, he needs drive shafts. So I'm thinking maybe we can all get together and send him a bunch of drive shafts, so that way he has enough to, you know, put a drive shaft in most of his cars that he has. Anyway, guys, thank you. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're not. If you're into this stuff, I will show you more on this in a little bit. With that, be kind to each other.